To all of our friends across the multiverse, thanks for tuning in. I'm Rob Banks, and you're watching the Red Cup Review. Two amazing studios from across the galaxy have joined forces in Gentle Giant and Diamond Select Toys to bring us this amazing review. Special shout outs to our buddies over there at Diamond Select. Anyways, the Legends in 3D scale, half scale Kylo Ren resin bust is pretty dynamite out of the package, and I can't wait to show them off to you guys. Yeah, there are a couple of paint imperfections here and there, but overall he's a pretty great statue, and I am excited as hell to do this for two reasons. One, because it's cool. Two, because I have the Batman the Animated Series coming for you guys. We got the Joker from the Animated Series and Harley Quinn, but she doesn't drop until a little later on next year. Enough of my blabbering. Don't take my word for it. Let's take a closer look. Now that we took the time to take a look at the statue from all different kinds of angles, I'm going to give you my personal breakdown and things to watch out for if you guys hadn't caught them before. Now, coming right out of the package, this thing is very nice. It's got a nice presence to it. It's got a weight to it. You could tell that it's high quality material. That's pretty cool. It's when you really go under it with a little bit of a microscope and start to actually look for imperfections when they kind of start to permeate. At least in my mind it did. But we'll take a look at looking at the sculpt first. Now the sculpt I think is actually super excellent. This is where the statue shines. I love the fact that there are different kind of textures, even though it's all the same material. It's the resin material, the different textures and the little miniature stitching inside of his, the front part of his outfit here, which has got a different look to his space ascot, if you will. And then his hood has got one type of graininess to it, and then what would be the inside of his hood is a lot more smoother, which is nice. As you can see here, the wrinkles that would be on the outside of his outfit, pretty cool. Outside of his hood there, rather. And the helmet itself, it's got a lot of nice little battle damage things going on in there. Right above the eyebrow ridge, right up over here is really nice. And it's got some dent marks. It's got a nice dent mark right up in the front here where he actually smashed it in the second movie, so that's cool. And it's got, nice little dents and dings and stuff like that. So yeah, it captures the likeness really, really, really well. And another thing that's cool about it is that, I don't know if you guys are catching, I'm going to try to position it in a certain way. Well, I have both lights hitting this from two different directions, right? When a thing like this is normally in your collection, the light's probably going to be coming from either below or above. Now, it's coming from above because the actual face mask is so recessed up in here. You're going to get a lot of shadow up in the eye area, as you can see on this side as opposed to this side. Remember, I have the light coming right at it head on, which is why it might not be giving that depth effect that you might be getting from when I turn it right over here. Okay, so that's where it actually shines, the statue. Also in the base, I absolutely love the base. I thought it was mad cool that they decided to use his lightsaber hilt as the base. That's really nice. Here's the little clip part for his lightsaber down here at the bottom. Let's get a nice little bend there. There you go. And I love the wire coming down. It's cool. It's very well done. The paint job actually on the base is very well done too. It's got wear marks where it's like as if he was touching it, and it's kind of not super clear on the paint in these areas. So that's nice. It's nice that there's a little bit of wear on the paint on the hilt, on the base rather, because it makes sense. However, in the head sculpt itself is where it kind of falls short in the paint job. We'll get to that now. Unfortunately, the paint job on the red lines in particular, and pretty much just the red lines, is where the statue kind of hits a couple of bumps in the road, to put it lightly. As you could see up through here, you could see that the paint isn't necessarily totally lined up with the cracks in the mask. Again, you're really only going to notice this if you're right on top of this thing staring down at it. The paint line should have rode directly inside of the crevices, and as you can see over here, there's a couple of dots on the outside there. You know, it takes it down a notch. Unfortunately, see up over here, right there, it kind of takes something that is really like, oh my god, wow, for the price you cannot beat this, to kind of going, all right, well, you know, you got to also consider this is more of on the lower end of the statue community. I mean, some statues cost upward of $1,500. This is definitely not that, but at the same time, you want to judge it for what it is. On the back, you could see a couple of paint splatters over here and here. So I'm not overly sold on the paint job of the red lines. Again, if you were to get this, yours might be different. I'm just judging by what mine is. If the paint jobs are all different on all of them, which, you know, you would hope for a little bit more uniformity, unfortunately, this is what we got. Now, aside from that, the paint job on the actual bust itself, as far as the face goes and the rest of the statue, is actually quite excellent. Continuing with the paint job, I'm actually a little bit happier with the rest of the paint job on the remainder of the statue. It doesn't bother me that the silver lines running through here, right? I don't know if you guys are picking that up, or actually not totally, like the black from underneath is kind of permeating the silver a little bit, and I'm okay with that. The lines are pretty much straight. There's maybe a hair here or there, and I mean just a hair of imperfection, but that happens. It's negligible in my opinion. The black, though, that permeates through the silver is fine, because this is the Rise of Skywalker. This is supposed to be kind of battle damaged and scratched and scuffed up and such, so that doesn't bother me too much. So you have three different blacks we're working with here. You have the black on the top of his helmet and the front of his mask, and that transitions into this more of and that's more matte finish. This is more of a shinier, kind of a darker, deeper black, which also is the same as his space ascot, if you will, for his like little neckerchief here. And again, that transitions again into a third, or maybe four different types of black actually, into his cloak, and it looks like a brownish black kind of front piece here. Then again, I'm colorblind, so again, mileage may vary. I tend to use that expression a lot. Now, I think they could have used a little bit more paint in the back right here, and where the deeps, where the crevices are, the different variances in height of how the outfit and the folds of the outfit are. But I think they're relying on the natural sculpture just to capture those natural shadows. So everything you're seeing here is actually just natural shadows, because it's all one color as far as my eyes can tell. And again, depending on where your light source is coming from, it's going to give you those natural shadows anyway. So it's going to add depth to the statue regardless. And again, you have your last color up in here, but we mentioned that already. So there you have it, folks. I got to tell you, as far as the sculpture goes and the actual emotion of him kind of like looking off to the side, I'm really digging it. If it just wasn't for the lines matching up a little bit better and not being as sloppy with the red paint line work, this would have been a total home run. But I'm going to have to call it a double because of that. Just because of the type of high-end stuff I'm used to, reviewing on this channel. So I'm going to say this is a double, not necessarily a triple or a home run. Congratulations, you've made it to the end of the video where we do a little bit of a wrap-up here. This isn't quite novice level statue collecting, but it's not quite intermediate either. I would say this is like the novice intermediate bridge area, especially for the price point. It's got weight to it, it's got a nice size to it, and I think it's going to look great on a shelf with guys like the Rocketeer, and they got like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and I'm personally focusing on the Batman the Animated Series characters that they have coming in this. They got all the Marvel characters and stuff like that, and there's a link down below in case you guys want to either purchase this and or take a look at some of the other Legends of 3D scale busts that they have. That's in the description below. Comes with a nice little card here. It's a postcard. This is number 524 out of 1,000. Right, you put that on like a nice little stand right next to it, and it gives it like that prestige feel. It's got, between the box and the way you open it up and the overall look at it, at least my first impressions made me feel like it's just like it feels good, especially at the price point and the size of it, that is. So I hope you guys feel the same way. Again, for you higher end collectors, 1,800 to 1,000 and above, because statues, they do tend to go sky high. This probably isn't necessarily in your wheelhouse, but then again, maybe it is. Who am I to judge? I hope this review either convinced you to get one or maybe move on to another character. Who knows? Anyways, thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you on a future episode. Take it easy, everybody.